le, 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 le. Lagos now I own you. A beautiful city, I must talk of. Lagos now we city, the heaven of investment. Oh. Blue lines have done there from Okoko Maiko to Marina. Everywhere you enter, Lagos too sweet. We got good road, we got structure. Better healthcare, tourist attractions. Better food, setting locations. Security,
In the heart of Lagos' booming skylines and forgotten corners, have you ever imagined how rundown streets become safe, modern havens for families? You will soon get an answer to that and many more. Good evening and welcome to another episode of State on Focus. I am Olabimpe Zaccheaus. Today, we dive into the Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency, LASURA, the government powerhouse tackling slum upgrades, illegal structure removals, and infrastructure boosts to reclaim and revitalize our neighborhoods. To explore how LASURA is reshaping Lagos one community at a time, I'm thrilled to be joined by the General Manager, Town Planner Oladimeji Animashaun. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome too.
Okay, sir. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at how LASURA is changing the face of Lagos. And considering the Themes Plus agenda, where it's, the governor has stated every community, everybody must be involved. So, of course, LASURA has a major role to play in all this. Now, to start with, sir, for those hearing about LASURA for the first time, can you paint a vivid picture of what urban renewal truly means in the chaotic, vibrant context of Lagos, and how this agency is the architect behind turning rundown allies into thriving hubs?
Thank you very much. That's a good one, just for everybody to know the historical background of LASURA. You see, Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency, known as LASURA, was established in 1991. But before the establishment, there was an incident in those days, around 1954, known as bubonic plague in Lagos Central, where there was need to replant Lagos Central. So people there, they were resettled at Ebute Metta, at Surulere. Then during that time, LEDB, which is known as Lagos Executive Development Board, was in control of planning. That was established as a planning in charge of Central Lagos. But later, that now gave them the opportunity of establishing LASURA in 1991. So the functions, since then, the functions of LASURA is urban regeneration. When we talk about urban regeneration, that means, you see, in our community, it's just like human being. When you are young, you'll be very, very active. But as you are getting older, you know, your activity will be reducing. So the same thing with cities. When a city is newly created, all the necessary facilities will be there, then the population will be very, very minimal. But as time goes on, people will start living in that place. The facilities that were enough will no more be enough. It will be overused. Then that means it will lead to deterioration. That is when the urban renewal will now come in to regenerate that particular area. Apart from that, we also identify blighted areas in the state. That means which area are actually due for regeneration. There are certain factors that you have to consider, like what I mentioned, that when the facilities are no more sufficient to take care of that people, when the drainage, flooding, everything is happening there, then you now see that this particular area is identified as a slum area. They will also develop and implement strategies Because when you are embarking on urban renewal, it's not a matter of just going there. It has a procedure. So the next thing is to meet the people that are there. That is what we call stakeholder engagement. You cannot just go there because there may be need for you to demolish some buildings or something like that. If you don't have engagement with people, despite the fact that government and you have good intention, they will term it as ajagungbale, the omonile, that you are trying to take their land away from them. But the moment you engage them, they will actually understand. Then apart from that too, we embark on housing development. The housing development may not be as detailed as Ministry of Housing, because that is their own main function. But we too, you can engage when we have scheme, just like NTDA, like lands, we have scheme to all our upgrading areas. Whatever we do there to plan to redevelop that place becomes our scheme.
You have mentioned about slum regeneration, and obviously that's one of the basic functions. What is your recent success story? Like in Badia or Bariga, where your team transformed a forgotten community. What's your success story, and what made it click for the residents of that area?
Thank you very much. You see, in the past, 42 blighted areas were identified. So Badia, Ijora Badia that you made mention, Olaleye Epori, those areas were among the 42 blighted areas identified during that time. And they were more or less the first pioneer urban regeneration areas being handled by the agency. Before the intervention of LASURA, government, because LASURA is government agency, before the intervention of government through LASURA, if you go to Badia, it's completely a slum area. The road there, not motorable, not in good condition, the housing condition, everything, and highly populated. But with government intervention through regeneration, if you go there now, you see those roads, they were interlocked, well constructed, the buildings were upgraded, some of the facilities like toilets that were not there before, people were using short puts or pit toilet, all those ones, even they didn't have drinkable water. But with government intervention, it's good, and it's still a continuous process. So from Badia, it's now extended to Alafia and some other areas within the vicinity.
We know how busy Lagos is. The people that come in daily, I mean, people coming to Lagos for some people is like coming to for greener pasture. So everybody wants to come to Lagos. Now, so with all this, tackling the tough stuff of illegal structures and enforcement, we all know it's a daily battle in Lagos State. We know that, and it's not only your agency that has been in charge of this. So now, how does LASURA balance enforcement, like recovering government properties from private hands, with empathy for the families involved? Because that's very important, and ensuring that they get fair justice and no one is left behind.
Yeah, you see, when we talk about enforcement, like what I mentioned to you, the main function of LASURA is to regenerate a slum area. Then in the process of doing that, there may be need for some enforcement. This enforcement, LASURA doesn't have the power. Because you know, in the state, we have many agencies, and we do co-sit with each other. There is synergy between us. If you see Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, that means two offices are there. Physical planning, that is where you get a Lagos State Physical Planning permit. Anything related to development is there. There's another one known as Lagos State Building Control Agency. The Building Control Agency, known as LABCA, the short form, LABCA, they are in position of enforcement. because they have all the tools for enforcement, policemen, machines, everything, all the necessary tools. So if there's any need for us to enforce or to carry out any enforcement, we do liaise with them. So they will come to our aid and go to that particular place. Then when you talk about people coming into Lagos, yes, Lagos is the center of excellence. Everybody wants to come here. That is when we are carrying out urban regeneration, we do a sort of population analysis. We do consider the neighboring area. For instance, if somebody is planning Lagos State, you cannot plan Lagos State in isolation without considering Ogun State, because Ogun State is very, very close to Lagos. Even Ojodubaga, you may not even know whether. So if you are planning, if Lagos State is planning, you must consider Ogun State too, because there's it for daily movement. So all those ones, if you don't give this consideration, it's going to affect your planning method.
Beyond stakeholders' engagement, I just asked the question that how do you do this with empathy, which is very important for the family?
You see, in LASURA, we have some government properties that have been acquired in the past. During that bubonic, something that I made mention. Those people that the government acquired their properties, there's publication, and they have been compensated. But miraculously, let me put it that way, some people will have collected compensation. Instead of rendering the property to the government, they will still be in possession. That is why in LASURA, we have 6 departments, 6 units. Among the department, we have estate department. That estate department is the one that goes out in form of monitoring to identify properties that belongs to LASURA. So any property that we discovered that is within LASURA, you know, you don't have to use force. And this is government of the people, for the people, and the people too. So what we do is we write those people, please come forward with all your documents as a proof that actually you are the owner of this property. Failure to do that, we actually take possession of that property without any problem. It's a means of dialogue between the so-called property owner and the agency. So if they are able to convince us that, oh, this property belongs to us, some of the things that we are going to require from them is the title document. If they are not in possession of that title document, and if you are in possession, we show it to them. So that one, we let them give us our property without any problem. And moreover, all the LASURA properties that were acquired in those days, that compensation had been paid, we have all the details with us. So at times we go to our archives, we bring that details there, we use it for our monitoring. Okay. And now, one good thing that is ongoing through the coordinator of, you know, I told you the ministry before was Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, but it has been divided into 2. So physical planning and OU, the Office of Urban Development. That urban development, LASURA is under that urban development. So under the leadership of Dr. Abiodun, Olajide Abiodun Babatunde, automation of all LASURA property and digitalization of the property, they are ongoing, even almost completed. So that one will also give us the idea at a glance that this is our property, this is our boundary, without any conflict.
I must say that with all this you've said, the agency has actually made impact on both the new areas and the upcoming ones. Now, how are these initiatives, not just fixing boreholes, building schools, how are these initiatives firing our economy in Lagos State, knowing that Lagos State is the economic nerve center of Nigeria?
You see, development brings appreciation to land value. So at the moment, if I should start mentioning areas that LASURA is embarking the development, at the moment, there are more than 13 or 15. I don't know, in the Lagos Island, we have Pelewura. The Pelewura are two. Pelewura Onirin and Pelewura himself. We have Bombata. We have Maboreje. We have Adenijadile. I don't know that Adenijadile, that housing, residential housing area is due for regeneration. And the impact of LASURA is there. Then we have Obalende, near this Hausa community. That's another area that attention of LASURA is with. We have Katangua. Maybe you might have heard about our popular computer village. So that particular area is not good for commercial venture. It's going to have to traffic congestion within that area. So that is why they have to be located to Katangua. And if you go to Katangua now, you will see that a lot of development is going on there. The road, everything, if you go there. So after the completion, recently we had a stakeholder with them. So after the completion, everything, computer village will be moved from the out of Ikeja down to that place. So that is part of the something that is going there. The Alabarago, in those days, if you were during the Muslim festival, Araba is noted for rams, buying rams, and naturally something. So if you go there, the land value there is more than what is being put into. If you go there now, you will see that shopping malls are springing up. Those are the things LASURA is doing. Then in the recent time, you hear about Oworoshoki. Even in the paper, that they went there to have demolition, this and that. You know, people, government doesn't go to areas without first of all giving people information that we are coming. But when it comes to actual implementation, they will deny that government did not notify them. They just came like that, forgetting that without pains, there is no gain. So that pains is what they will be considering. And maybe you might have heard about Otumara too. Otumara is another urban regeneration area. So the area, it has been cleared by certain people, maybe individuals, but once government realized that this is part of the regeneration area, we spoke into action. We had stakeholders with them, enumeration carried out to know how many people are going to be compensated, and a nice design in form of scheme being prepared to accommodate that area, now bringing value to that area, bringing current trend of modern city, mega city, to that particular area. Then apart from that, Ademuyiwa market in Ebute Meta, that's another government intervention through LASURA intervention. Then Ilason, just like Adenijadile, Ilason is also another housing estate that government is trying to bring modern facilities into that place, because if you go to that place, that place is already decayed. So there is need to bring it to life. Then apart from that, I don't know whether you might have heard about Isalegogo. Isalegogo, that one is Lagos Island. That is land pooling. That means instead of people, if you don't have enough space, because in planning, there are certain air species that you have to leave. But if the land for that development is not enough, you won't be able to have all the necessary setbacks. So that is why during the time of Governor Fashola, the idea of land pooling, that means family having a very small land area coming together, releasing their land, coming together to have a bigger land. That is where we built Isalegogo with 13 floors, luxurious flats. Then maybe you might have heard about Okobaba too. Okobaba Sawmill. Now take it to Agbowa. That one too government intervention is there. Houses were provided for all these sawmillers. Something that they can't avoid, government provided it for them at no cost, just for them to move from that area to Agbowa. So you can see a lot of intervention, and it's still a continuous process. Still a continuous process. That is why on yearly basis, the major budget of LASURA centered on regeneration and urban renewal. Then, just to give you an insight of something, maybe at another source, you might have heard about urban renewal and urban regeneration. They are related, just like layout and development guide. The two, they are related, they are the same thing, but it's only a planner that will actually know that this is the difference between them. When we talk about layout, that means, you know, layout is a subdivision of land into different uses. If it is a layout, that means that land is a flat, is a vacant land, virgin land, nothing there. So if you are to plant that place, you are going to, for instance, when you go to Badagry, you see that there are many vacant land there. But if you go to Mushi, I don't think you can get any. So if you are planning Mushi, it's not a layer you are preparing for them, you are preparing development guide. Okay. That means something that is existing. So you are just bringing in palliative measures. Small, okay, they don't have a road there. Okay, let us put road there without total redevelopment. The same thing, when it is urban renewal, that means an existing area. You just need palliative measure. Maybe right of way, you might have heard about delivery of life right of way. So that right of way means not total clearance, but some houses have to be, yes. So in the same thing, when it's urban renewal, that means it's not total clearance. They are just giving a palliative measure, maybe introducing road, maybe introducing some basic facilities that are not available in that area without any total clearance. But when you hear regeneration, oh my dear, total clearance, and you replant that place, then it becomes a scheme. That's what I see.
Okay, thank you very much. You've mentioned urban renewal, you've mentioned regeneration, and so obviously